Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is a tremendous sight. When I started working here at the university, this is exactly the kind of night that I imagined. So let me say welcome to all of you. My name is Jim Ludis. I am the executive director of the Pell Center here at Salve, Regina University. I have the distinct pleasure of being your MC tonight. Like all of you, I was disappointed when I learned that the vice president wasn't going to be able to join us. As you know by now, he's with his son and family, and our thoughts and prayers are with them all. But we know that the vice president sincerely wanted to be here to celebrate his friend, Mrs. Nuala Pell. And that's exactly what we're going to do. You know, the comedian Lily Tomlin once said, "I always wanted to be somebody. I should have been more specific." Well, tonight we celebrate a woman who is a role model, someone our students can and should emulate, someone we are all lucky and grateful to call friend. We have a terrific lineup of folks who are eager to pay tribute to Mrs. Pell. But before we start, I want to recognize a number of individuals who honor us with their presence tonight. Let me start with members of the Pell family. You're scattered throughout the crowd. You've been faithful supporters of this university and the center which bears Senator Pell's name. It is a delight that so many of you could be here with us tonight. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Governor Chafee, sir, I know you're here. There you are, sir. Sir, your father and Senator Pell were both political rivals and colleagues. Above all else, they loved Rhode Island just as you do. We're thrilled that you can be with us tonight, sir. Thank you very much. Senator Jack Reed, you may not want me to say this, but you played a huge role in planning this magnificent tribute for Mrs. Pell, and you've even agreed to say a few words tonight. Thank you, sir, for all of your help and all of your support. Now, our junior Senator Sheldon Whitehouse deeply regrets not being able to be here tonight, but we're delighted that his wife Sandra is. Dr. Whitehouse, I'm not sure where you are in the crowd, but thank you for being here tonight. I also want to extend my gratitude to Congressman David Cicilline and Congressman Jim Langevin, who serve Rhode Island with distinction and are such great supporters of Salve and the Pell Center. Thank you, sirs, for being here. There are a number of other people I want to recognize, longtime admirers and supporters of Senator and Mrs. Pell, and people we are proud to call friends of the Pell Center. Our state senator, and the president of the Rhode Island State Senate, Senator Teresa Paiva-Weed. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Mayor Harry Winthrop, I know you're here. Sir, thank you for being with us tonight as well. And I want to recognize Sister Therese Antone, whose leadership was so vital in the establishment of the Pell Center at Salve almost 2 decades ago. Without her vision, we wouldn't be here tonight. So thank you, sister, for all that you do. Finally, I personally want to thank and recognize Sister Jane Garrity, the president of Salve Regina University. She lured me here from Washington, D.C. 2 years ago by telling me that she wants the distinctive education that our students receive to be as beautiful as Ochre Court on a night like tonight. The Nuala Pell Leadership Program that we announced tonight is, I believe, an important step towards that vision. Sister Jane, thank you. When I arrived at the Pell Center, I found a flag of Liechtenstein standing in my office. When I asked about it, I learned of the close friendship between Senator and Mrs. Pell and their Highnesses Prince Hans Adam II and Princess Marie. We are joined tonight by their representative, one of the most senior and well-respected diplomats in Washington, D.C., who brings greeting from the princely family. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Her Excellency Claudia Fritsche, Ambassador of Liechtenstein to the United States.
President Garrity, Chancellor Anton, Chairman Robinson, Mrs. Pell, and members of the Pell family, distinguished guests. It is my great honor and pleasure to represent Their Serene Highnesses Prince Hans Adam II and Princess Marie of Liechtenstein. Their Highnesses unfortunately cannot be here and have asked me to convey their greetings and best wishes. As you have heard, the friendship between the Pell family and the princely family of Liechtenstein goes back a long time. During their years in Washington, many members of the princely family have spent time with the Pells and got to know the inner workings of Washington long before Liechtenstein had an embassy there. I have often felt that through their affinity for Liechtenstein, the Pell family somehow represented the first Liechtenstein embassy in Washington before I had the honor to open the actual one in 2002. Today's honoree is a very special lady, and I'm humbled to be able to call Nuala Pell my friend. I may not have known her for as long as many of you have, but she will always have a special place in my life and in my heart. Maya Angelou once said, and I quote, "It is important for us to recognize and to celebrate our heroes and our sheroes." Nuala, you are definitely a shero. Their Highnesses Prince Hans Adam II and Princess Marie would like to pay tribute to Mrs. Pell, who has played such a big role and has made such a difference in public service, but also individually in the lives of so many people and for so many causes. Thoughtfulness, determination, grace, and generosity are just a few attributes that come to mind when one thinks of Nuala Pell. The princely family is very happy to remain connected to the Pell Center and is looking forward to the many opportunities that the new leadership program will offer to future leaders in public service. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Ambassador, and please thank the princely family. We also thank you. You are a great friend of this university, and we're delighted that you're able to be here tonight. Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, Salve Regina has graduated many distinguished alums, but perhaps none more distinguished than our next speaker, the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Janet Robinson.
Good evening, everyone. Nuala, those of us who know you well, especially those of us who serve with you on the Board of Trustees of Salve Regina University, know that your valuable influence often takes place quietly behind the scenes. You do not seek the limelight, even though it could easily be yours. Tonight, though, we are here to recognize and honor your commitment to education and to learning through the establishment of the Nuala Pell Leadership Program in public service. We are also here to honor you in an additional way. In its 17-year history, the Pell Center has honored only one person with the Claiborne Pell Center Award. That person was His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who you were instrumental in bringing to the university. Tonight, Sister Jane Garrity will present that same award to you, Nuala, and it's richly deserved. It's my pleasure to introduce the president of Salve Regina University, Sister Jane Garrity.
Nuala Pell. Salve Regina University, in accord with its mission to promote truth, justice, and peace, is honored to present the Pell Center Award to Nuala Pell in recognition of her gracious response to the call to serve, her insistence on justice for all people, and for her lifetime of humanitarian leadership. Have we unveiled the award? Yes.
To your left.
Indeed.
To your left.
Yeah. There they are. Great. Thank you, Nuala.
Have you sit back down for a moment.
Thank you. Before I start, and Nuala will have an opportunity to say a few words at the end. I want to thank our students, Mia and Allie, who helped with the unveiling. They are Pell Scholars in this program on campus, incredibly good students, and I'm thrilled that they're here with us tonight. So thank you, Mia and Allie. Mrs. Pell, Senator Reed, thank you for all being with us to honor a dear friend, and these are the attributes whose human touch, grace, and dignity have been the hallmarks of a life well lived. She's not just an exemplar of these ideals for our students, but I know looking around at you tonight, she's an exemplar for us all. You know, when the Pell Center was created, both Nuala and Senator Pell spoke passionately about the need to engage succeeding generations in the great public challenges, and as you know, there are many. She, and in more recent years, her grandchildren, many of whom are here tonight, have been tremendously supportive of our efforts to create a research center that focuses its work in three ways: politics, policy, and ideas, effectively sustaining Senator Pell's view that public service is about, and this is something that we talk about all the time. It's a beautiful, succinct motto of his: translating ideas into action to help people. Ideas, action, and helping people, those three. As a trustee, Nuala has been a strong advocate of efforts to further integrate the Pell Center into Salve Regina's undergraduate curriculum. And she's quite effectively promoted programs to encourage and, yes, nourish promising graduates to become active in civil affairs and to engage in public service. Allie and Mia, you hear that? You're on your way. And so it is entirely appropriate that we announce the creation of the Nuala Pell Leadership Program in public service at the Pell Center. Through your generosity, all of you, carefully selected undergraduate students will be exposed each year to the fundamentals of leadership. They'll have the opportunity to work on public issues around Rhode Island, and they will expect it to give back on the campus, in the community, and wherever life may take them. It's not enough, you know, for this university, or I say for any university, to graduate students simply competent in their professions. That's not what we offer here. The world today needs compassionate leaders ready for lives of distinction. That's the ideal embodied in the life of Nuala Pell, a life of distinction and service to others. The program we inaugurate tonight invests in the development of a new generation and a blossoming of their talents, and we could not be prouder of it. You know, there's an Indian proverb which I love, which says, All the flowers of all the tomorrows are in the seeds of today. The truth in this wisdom will not be lost on anyone who's ever spent time teaching, raising a family, or working with young people. And it captures, I believe, the faith Nuala has expressed so many times about the critical role our students must play in creating a world that is more peaceful, more merciful, and more just. So, tonight, Nuala, I speak for all of your friends and admirers when I say thank you. I say, first of all, thank you for the tremendous support of this university, and thank you for your belief in the promise of young people. Thank you for your shared wisdom, and thank you for walking this, and I know you don't like it, Nuala, this very public road with us. We are forever in your debt. You know, one of the first people we told about our plans to honor Nuala was Rhode Island's senior senator, Jack Reed, the man who succeeded Claiborne Pell in the Senate. From that moment, the first moment that we spoke to him about this, his energy and enthusiasm have not waned. Anyone who has heard Jack, and that's what we all call him, talk about Senator Pell knows well the degree of respect and reverence he has for his predecessor. And that's no surprise to anyone who knows Jack Reed, his sense of history, his love of Rhode Island, and his modest nature. But Jack Reed as our senator is so much more than just the successor to Senator Pell. We all know he is regarded in Washington as one of the best informed, hardest working, and most accomplished of the 100 U.S. senators. He's respected by his colleagues from both parties and by officials throughout the government for his integrity, his diligence, his expertise in defense policy, as well as many other aspects of public policy. His voice is heard, his advice is heeded. And for decades, Rhode Island has been blessed with the successive generations of superb leadership in Washington, and I would say by our entire delegation. And none of those who came before have represented us better than Jack Reed. So now, to join us in celebrating this most remarkable woman, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to a great friend of this university, Senator Jack Reed.
Thank you very much, Sister, for your very, very kind introduction, but more importantly, for your extraordinary leadership here at Salve, Regina University. Thank you very much. I want to recognize my colleagues in the federal delegation, Representative Langevin, Representative Cicilline. They're extraordinarily effective, hardworking, and great colleagues. Thank you very much, David and Jim. Thank you. I want to recognize our governor. Thank you, Governor, for being here, for your leadership in the state. I also obviously want to recognize Janet Robinson, who is the chair of this distinguished board. Madam Ambassador, thank you for your representation of your country and your great service internationally. And Jim, thank you all. First, let me make explicit what should be obvious. I am not the Vice President of the United States. I am much shorter and much briefer. That man can talk. He can talk. At this moment, our thoughts are with the Vice President and Jill and the whole family, and with Bo. We wish them a speedy, speedy recovery. I had the privilege of knowing Bo very well, of visiting him in Iraq when he served with the Delaware National Guard. He's an extraordinary gentleman, and our hearts and prayers are with the Biden family tonight. Now, when it was announced that the Vice President was coming here to honor Mrs. Pell, I called him on the phone, and he made it very clear to me. He wanted to be here at Salve, Regina, at the Pell Center, because Claiborne and Nuala had been there for him at the most difficult moment in his life. And only Bo's illness has kept him away. He reminded me when we were talking on the phone that Claiborne used to keep in his Washington office a pillow embroidered with the quote, "Happiness is being married to your best friend." And he was a happy man. Together, Claiborne and Nuala helped move a nation forward and inspired us all with their selfless service to this country and to this state. And they raised a family that emulates their service to community and country. The Vice President wanted to be here to celebrate Nuala and also to thank her. Because, as he said in his prepared remarks, when he entered the Senate, in the midst of the most profound and personal tragedy one can imagine, they were there for him. In his words, "The people who embraced me were Nuala, Pell, and Claiborne. They would have me to their home constantly. I commuted every single day for 36 years, 7,900 miles round trips, 250 miles a day on Amtrak. But I always knew I had a home in Washington, a home with the Pells." And it was that spirit that he communicated to me, and I know he's disappointed he can't be with us tonight. Nuala, for me, this is a special honor to be here, to celebrate your lifetime of service and leadership to our great state and nation. And the launch of the Nuala Pell Leadership Program in public service, as well as your receiving the Pell Award, are fitting tributes to you and Claiborne's legacy. Nuala was Claiborne's best friend, sustaining and inspiring him during his years of public service, and they worked side by side on issues of importance to both of them. In fact, I think there's only one thing that she won't take credit for with Claiborne: his wardrobe. That was particularly unique to Claiborne. Now, whether it was his efforts on behalf of the elderly, women's health, arts, humanities, access to education, their work in these areas impacted thousands and thousands of lives. We are all better for it, and the future of America is better for it. The key characteristic that both Nuala and Claiborne shared is the absolute conviction that nobility lives in the heart of all, regardless of their situation or station in life. Everyone deserves the same opportunity to achieve their dreams. Indeed, the citation for the Pell Award echoes this, honoring Nuala for her gracious response to the call to service, her insistence on justice for all people, and for her lifetime of humanitarian leadership. And after the family lost Claiborne, we all lost Claiborne. Instead of retreating from the public life to private life, she chose to carry on his work with her own work. Especially notable has been her strong commitment to the Pell Center for International Relations and the Pell policy here at Salve Regina University. She's been actively engaged, encouraging an integration of the center into the life of this great university. And the establishment today of the Nuala Pell Leadership Program in public service will help do just that by establishing undergraduate fellowships to identify potential future leaders and give them the tools that they need to go into public service. This program will encourage students to aspire to a life of distinction in service to others, a life like Claiborne and Nuala Pell, and do for the next generation what they have done for our generation. Of course, this honor was met with Nuala's typical humility and grace. I'm told when Sister Jane and Therese told her she was going to be honored and we'd have a big celebration, her response was, "But who would come?" Nuala, those of us who gather today came to honor and thank you for a lifetime of public service and leadership. On behalf of our grateful state and nation, and on behalf of Vice President Biden, we thank you and wish you many more years of happiness. But indeed, let me conclude in the words that the Vice President had chosen to deliver tonight. In his words, "Nuala, the legacy of your strength and character is the depth of our love for you. You are a remarkable woman. We are privileged to know you. The students of this university are lucky to have your support, and we wish you many, many more years of happiness. God bless you, and may God protect our troops." Nuala, we will be honored with a few of your words. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Nuala Pell.
Thank you so very, very much for this wonderful honor. I look out at so many friends from so many places and from so many years. I'm really blessed to have each and every one of you as a friend, and thank you for coming. I was truly touched that Vice President Biden wished to share this day with me, and know that we all offer our prayers for his son's successful recovery. Senator Reid, Jack, thank you for being such a fine senator for Rhode Island and the nation, and for being a superb successor to Claiborne as our senator. Sister Jane, Sister Therese, and Janet Robinson, I have enjoyed my years as a trustee of Salve Regina and the opportunity to work with all of you, three very talented and deeply committed women. I am honored to receive the Pell Award and am thrilled that there will be a new leadership program in public service at the Pell Center. Since the Pell Center was created, I've been pleased by its programs and excited by its promise. Now, under the very skillful direction of Jim Ludus, it is reaching an entirely new level, and I know there will be exciting days to come. This has been a wonderful day for me and for my family. Thank you all so very much.